President Lee Myung-bak has agreed with Russian President Dmitry Medvedev to build a strategic bilateral partnership between the two countries. The top U.S. nuclear negotiator Christopher Hill will visit North Korea when time is running out for the verification of the North's nuclear program. Three of the nation's greatest Panori masters have been on the stage together to delight fans of the genre. Hello and welcome to KBS World News Today. It's Tuesday, the 30th of September. President Lee Myung-bak has agreed with Russian President Dmitry Medvedev to build a strategic bilateral partnership. President Lee held the summit in Moscow Monday.
Relations between Korea and Russia have been upgraded to a strategic partnership 18 years after the two countries formed diplomatic ties. Presidents Lee and Medvedev agreed to carry out cooperation projects to build a strategic partnership.
혁상된 양국 관계 발전을 실질적으로 뒷받침하고 각급 채널 간 교류와 대화를 앞으로 활성화하기로 합의하였습니다.
The two leaders also agreed to hold vice foreign minister talks, increase exchanges of military officials and technology, and facilitate cultural and human exchanges by simplifying visa issuance. Korea and Russia will also work together on aerospace and nuclear power programs, such as the development of small Korean satellite rockets. The two sides will also cooperate in anti-terrorism measures and the six-party nuclear talks.
Ну и, конечно, приоритетное внимание мы уделили ситуации вокруг ядерной проблемы Корейского полуострова и вопросов продвижения межкорейского диалога.
President Lee has now visited all four powers surrounding the Korean peninsula, the U.S., Japan, China, and now Russia.
The top U.S. nuclear negotiator Christopher Hill is visiting Seoul Tuesday before going to North Korea for talks on nuclear verification. Time is running out for the verification of the North's nuclear program, with the U.S. presidential election fast approaching.
The chief U.S. delegate to the six-party nuclear talks will arrive in North Korea for talks Wednesday. Pyongyang announced a week ago that it will unseal its main nuclear reactor at Yongbyon and inject nuclear material into reprocessing facilities. Hill will first hold talks with Seoul's top nuclear negotiator Kim Suk Tuesday evening. They'll discuss plans for verifying North Korea's denuclearization process. Hill plans to confirm if North will accept the verification plans and ask Pyongyang not to move forward on the verification protocol during the U.S. presidential election. Hill is also expected to urge Pyongyang to agree on the verification principles, if not the verification itself. But Pyongyang is refusing to negotiate. The North rejects the proposed collection of samples from reactors and surprise inspections on unreported facilities. Pyongyang also says that it began restoring its nuclear facilities because Washington did not remove the North from the U.S. terrorist blacklist. Little time remains for the nuclear talks, with the U.S. presidential election fast approaching. Thus, Hill's visit to Pyongyang this week is considered crucial in getting the North to agree to verification.
Utoro is a village in Japan where former Korean slaves have lived for nearly 7 decades. Fundraising campaign has tried to save this village from demolition, but economic difficulty is putting the entire project in jeopardy.
This is the Japanese village of Utoro. Koreans who were forced to build a Japanese military airfield have lived here since 1941. These Koreans have rejected getting Japanese citizenship despite suffering blatant discrimination. Their village was set for demolition, but fundraising events both in Korea and Japan in 2005 helped save the village. Some 160,000 people have made donations over the past 3 years. The Korean government also gave $2.5 million to raise the combined fundraising amount to $3.8 million. The amount surpassed the original target of $3.5 million needed to purchase the village site. But the 1 yen exchange rate has risen from 800 won per 100 yen to 1,100 won per 100 yen. To purchase the village land will cost 530 million yen, which translated into $3.5 million in November last year. But the weakening won has pushed up the price tag to $4.7 million, compelling stronger fundraising efforts more than 10 months ago. Given the volatility of the global currency market, it's difficult to calculate how much more money is needed.
3년 동안 개인들의 모금들이 적지 않았지만 이제는 큰 기부자나 아니면 기업들의 도움이 절실한 형편입니다.
Civic groups have launched a second round of fundraising online to save the Utoro village.
Bright tints of fall have begun to appear at the summit of Mount Sodak, and they are gradually spreading. The autumn tint is expected to peak around October 20th.
This is Mount Sodak on clear, crisp autumn day. The mountain's highest peak of Taechong and Chungcheong are hastily changing into fall colors. Autumn leaves have begun to take a bright red and yellow shades of fall, drawing attention from climbers.
산행이 너무 좋았고요. 단풍이 이제 막 드는 것 같습니다. 너무 좋게 드는 것 같고 아마 올해도 너무 멋진 그 철학장의 단풍이 되지 않을까 생각합니다.
The fall color changes have begun to appear from mountain summit 17 meters above the sea level and has come down about 100 meters.
작년보다 그 기온이 계속 고온 현상을 유지하고 있다가 지금 현재는 한 7, 8도로 유지되면서 지금서부터 단풍이 시작된다고 보면 되겠습니다.
In about 2 weeks, the autumn colors are expected to reach Gongnyeong Ridgeline and Hangye and Nishi Mountain passes to form a remarkable scene. The red and yellow tints of fall are expected to peak between October 15th and 25th. Fall outings to see the bright autumn colors will likely begin this weekend and continue through next month.
The southern city of Jeonju is hosting a major event for the traditional Korean lyrical opera Panori. 3 of the nation's greatest Panori masters have been on the stage together to delight fans of the genre.
A Panori master's voice is filled with the rich emotions of a blind father who sees his daughter for the first time after his sight was restored. 3 of Korea's top male Panori singers have gotten together on stage. This rare performance has these Panori masters show off their distinct singing styles with their pride on the line.
부담도 있지만은 또 한편으로는 한 무대에 서는 것이 이거 아주 영원토록 기념이 될 것 같습니다.
People listen to the moving sound of Panori outside the performance venue as well. The Panori stage this year has also been set outdoors to accommodate a bigger audience. This African folk song might sound unfamiliar to Korean audiences, but they soon get swept up by the energetic rhythm.
가까운 곳에서 쉽게 이색적인 음악 접할 수 있어서 정말 좋으네요. 아이들하고 같이 와서 보면 좋을 것 같아요.
The birthplace of Panori comes alive not only through the sound of traditional Korean music, but those from 15 other countries.
Many adults remember bedtime stories their mothers told them in their childhood. But many foreign wives in Korea cannot do the same for their children because of differences in language and culture. A storybook concert for multicultural families is helping to resolve the problem.
This is a Mongolian fairy tale about a loving mother who gives away her heart to save her son from a witch's spell. This story, called A Mother's Heart, is being staged as a puppet show. A Vietnamese story with the Vietnamese folk music also sounds familiar to a Korean folktale. A growing number of women from other Asian countries like Mongolia and Philippines live in Korea with their Korean husbands and kids. The Storybook Concert seeks to introduce international fairy tales that foreign mothers grew up with to their Korean kids. The show is staged in provincial regions like Kumcheon and Ansan, which have many multicultural families. The purpose is to help mothers and children better understand and interact with each other.
몽골 동화를 그냥 몽골 말로 읽어주려고 한번 시도해봤는데 그때는 아이가 말을 잘 못 알아들으니까.
Many mothers in multicultural families wish to teach their children about their homeland's heritage, but this is not easy.
필리핀 내에서 알리고 싶었는데요. 그런 지금 회사 다니면서 시간도 없고 그러니까.
The Culture Ministry is sponsoring the Storybook Concert. The event will go on a nationwide tour to serve as a cultural bridge of understanding between multicultural mothers and their children.
Attendance at Korea's pro baseball games has exceeded 5 million this season for the first time in 13 years. But this does not resolve the problems the league faces.
This year's pro baseball season has seen attendance exceed 5 million for the first time since 1995. The surge in popularity is partly due to Korea's gold medal in baseball in this year's Beijing Olympics. The Lotte Giants have also played an important role in attracting more fans. Lotte has advanced to the league playoffs for the first time in 8 years. The Busan-based team has also adopted a marketing strategy that has raised home attendance more than 80%. This means more than a quarter of all baseball fans in Korea support the Lotte Giants.
It's been a different kind of year for them, marketing and on the field, and everyone has worked together, and we've just become one happy family.
But the infrastructure of the baseball league remains poor. Ground has not yet been broken for a dome stadium in the southern Seoul suburb of Ansan. Conditions also remain poor for teams based in the provinces.
정말 미약한 부분 많죠. 솔직히 저희 광주구장만 해도 너무 미약하는데 개개인적으로 좀 헝그리 정신이 없었으면은 정말 이런 결과가 없을 것 같고 조금 더 지역에 있는 높으신 분들이 좀 관심을 좀 많이 갖고.
Fans in Korea tend to be fair weather friends in mostly rooting for successful teams. The newest team to the league, the Uri Heroes, also has no main sponsor. These obstacles are hindering the further development of the domestic baseball league.
A visually disadvantaged man made a documentary on unemployment discrimination against the disabled in Korea. He says his dream is to become a film director who can speak for other disabled people.
No Dong-ju lost his vision after contracting a rare disease as a college sophomore at age 26. He has several technical certificates and is fluent in foreign language. But he's had a hard time getting a job due to his disability. That's when he decided to pursue his childhood dream of becoming a movie director.
진짜 학교 와보니까 저보다 더 재능 있는 친구들이 많은 거예요. 근데 이 친구들이 똑같이 저와 같은 길을 걸어가야겠다고 생각하면 너무 안타까워서 그 이야기를 사람들에게 알리고 싶었어요.
Refusing to give up, he took up filming to communicate with the world. He made countless mistakes while learning to gauge distance. His film shows the discrimination he has endured over the years.
자기 머릿속에 그리고 있던 걸 일반 정상인도 그걸 잘 표현을 못 해내는데 이만큼 표현했다는 거는 정말.
He had to shoot more footage because he was entirely dependent on his memory and vague sense.
카메라를 드는 것 자체가 들기까지가 가장 어려웠고요. 그러니까 제가 카메라에 대해 배운 게 없으니까 과감히 줄 수 있었고요. 막 부딪혔어요. 실패를 많이 했고.
His groundbreaking documentary was aired on KBS last Saturday.
Magic shows had given many adults dreams and fantasies during their childhood, but they are not that popular among kids these days. But still, some magicians keep the family business going. Let's go meet one of Korea's first magicians and his family. This magician had appeared frequently on TV shows in the 1970s and 80s. He is one of Korea's first magicians who had to amaze the audience with their bare hands, as no special effects had existed then. Now he's 84. He had retired years ago. No magic could keep time from going, but his magic closet is still filled with all kinds of props.
여기가 그 작업실이었나 보네요.
네, 그렇죠. 다 되죠, 뭐. 안 되는 거 없어요, 뭐. 다 해요.
60 years have passed since Lee first began magic. His magic tricks bring back old memories for many Koreans.
예. 기부장님은 매져서 나오는 거.
Happy to see a TV camera in such a long time. He even tries on one of his old magic suits. The old magician looks as lively as if he has gone back to the old days. His daughter Lee Young-suk had toured all over Korea with him as his assistant. She's the only one he has to share sweet memories.
처음에는 아주 부끄럽고 어떻게 할 줄 모르겠어요. 근데 아유, 그래도 그걸 딱 이건 아버지를 돕는 일이다 하면서.
The pigeons that still live with the magician also all come from one family as well. The young boy magician is Lee's grandson 20 years ago. The grandfather has handed down his magic skills to his grandson, who has opened a magic cafe 10 years ago.
잘한다고 하지만 할아버지 눈에는 아직 못 믿어온 것 같아요. 그래서 할아버지한테 지적도 당하고 그런지 아직도 그러고 있습니다.
Magic is so attractive, it makes anyone who sees a trick want to learn how to do it.
나중에 남자친구 생기고 그러면요, 이렇게 제가 직접 맛을 해가지고 이벤트로 보여주고 감동해 이렇게 시켜주고 싶어요.
Kim is now teaching magic tricks to a third generation of magicians. 9-year-old Gyubok, his youngest apprentice, will become a fourth generation magician.
큰 무대에서 사람들 많이 모아가지고 공연하고 싶어요.
Though not many stages remain for magicians these days, magic continues to live on like magic. Here are today's economic indicators and the weather. That's it for this edition of KBS World News Today. Have a nice day and thank you for watching.